Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Yes, good afternoon, good evening, I should say, and welcome back to the Kop TV. On the radar, you know the score by now, the bi-daily transfer update show right here on the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand, as you know. It's a nice, I would say, summer evening in Liverpool. I've got the doors open, so if you do hear a couple of seagulls from the balcony, then that's that authentic Liverpool noise. So it's good to have you back. And the big news is, of course, Darwin Núñez has passed his medical. There was a lot of speculation as to when this deal would be announced. And if we go over to David Maddox's Twitter, which I can get up for you right now, this was kind of the thing that made everyone stand up and realize what the situation was, why maybe it's taking a little bit longer to announce this more than other deals. But as you can see, David Maddox, very respected journalist based in the Northwest for the Mirror, says Darwin Núñez medical got underway at 11 a.m., expected to take the best part of this afternoon, with results confirmed in the morning. That would be tomorrow morning, June the 14th. So with no unveiling today, and technically not, this is the interesting part, we actually might not see Darwin Núñez holding up a Liverpool shirt until this date, July the 1st, because that's technically when the Portuguese transfer window opens. You can't obviously buy a player when the window isn't even open yet. So it might be actually 2 weeks until we see Núñez holding that red shirt up or outside Anfield. And we know that similar with Erling Haaland, how that's taken a week or two to actually get not over the line. We knew it was always going to happen, but for him to actually hold the shirt up, for his official unveiling, that was only today for Haaland, and I think they got him 2 weeks ago. So these things do take time. LFC anticipate, though, there will be some kind of formal signing announcement tomorrow, and that would just be a picture of Núñez maybe signing the contract, or it could be a picture of him in a Benfica shirt saying Liverpool have officially signed Darwin Núñez, because Benfica have now confirmed it as well. But yeah, I don't think it will be until this date, potentially. Again, listen, they might be doing the contract signing tomorrow. And in that case, there would obviously be an opportunity for a picture, but obviously you can't technically do this because the window is still closed in Portugal and it's not open until July the 1st. So we could see some kind of post tomorrow, hopefully after maybe the morning. I'm actually traveling down to London tomorrow myself, so hopefully by the time I get there, it is signed, sealed, and delivered. But again, David Maddox is again a very trusted journalist, so you'd have to go with him on this. Big up to Bailey. Big up to Nunez's man bun. Look at that already. Got YouTube accounts of Darwin Núñez, and this is his man bun. Interesting. Bro, send me Torres jersey. Not with that attitude. Certainly not. You haven't even said please. I've got no idea what you mean there, LFC chain. When did I ever say I was going to send you a Torres jersey? Not even a please. Unbelievable. Big up for watching, though, mate. I've never spent so much time on Twitter, says Bailey19. You should obviously focus on your schoolwork as well, mate. I feel like this is a dawn of a new era for our attack. It's exciting. And this is the thing that I've been saying, it does feel like it's the end of one era as we're about to go into a new era. If you look at the names that are potentially leaving that have been kind of big names within the success era of Liverpool, which you could say was from 2018 to now, and those names, the likes of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, the likes of Origi, Mane, it looks like Minamino's going to go as well, who came in 2020, but naturally those guys who I just mentioned have obviously been at the club a longer time, and therefore it does feel like once they all go, those names that I mentioned, it will feel like we are starting into a new era. But listen, as much as it's nostalgic looking back, you can always check out Mane's goals for Liverpool on YouTube for sure, and we are going to get emotional when he does leave, and as we should. But I do think this is a time to be very excited. It's a new dawn. It really is a new dawn, as Ethan here says. And big up to Tony. Wow, Darwin Núñez. I'm not too sure about Darwin Núñez. Hopefully Darwin is the one you mean. Big up to Habib's Arc El Nuñez. Oh, Darwin, Darwin, stand by me. Is that the tune that you're going with, or have I just ruined it? Okay. Be up to Edvin. And remember, guys, I'm very open to sharing your thoughts and your comments on the timeline, on the chat here that we've got. I normally read about 80% of them out throughout the whole stream. If I'm honest, I can't get through them all. But if you definitely want your super chat to be read out, sorry, your chat to be read out, do send in a super chat, only if you can, only if you're allowed, and it's not much of an issue for you, because as I said, if you go back in the last video, I said one of the things that we're doing next season is renting the studio out as studio hunting today. Actually, a lot of you guys will know where it is already. If you watch Paddy the Baddies and they do a great job producing the audio and visual. So every bit of money sent in from you guys, support, t-shirt bought, if that's a super chat, it could be membership on YouTube, whatever. Trust me, just know it all goes back into the channel to pay for everything, the studio rent, the new cameras, the new microphone covers, all this stuff. So if you are going to support the channel, we massively appreciate it. But just remember, all of it goes back into the channel for you. So you're paying really to get better service for you, which you have to respect. Please, brother. I mean, I never said I was going to buy you a Torres jersey. What's going on, fella? How's James dealing with this? Listen, obviously he's not happy. He's not happy that Sadio Mané is leaving, the one player really that's been his guy for the last 5 years. And listen, no one's going to be happy. It's going to be difficult to deal with, especially when it's to a team that not necessarily, in a weird way, not necessarily you'd think that he would drop everything and go to. I mean, if he said, listen, it's a Real Madrid, if it's a Barcelona, then fair enough. You could understand that. But what do you guys think? I mean, if it is Bayern Munich, which it is obviously, well, which it probably is going to be, then for me, it doesn't strike me as it's a new challenge. Of course it is. I mean, am I being too harsh on Bayern Munich? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. Are my thoughts that maybe going to Munich shows a little less desire than if you were to go to a Real Madrid, an AC Milan, especially after they've won the league? It's interesting, isn't it? But let us know in the comments what you think. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Mo. Salama. Big up to you. I finished sixth form for the summer now, lad. Just been training for a sixth form football tournament. Good lad. Looks like Nat Phillips is going to leave as well, guys. It looks like Bournemouth are preparing another loan offer. So again, for Nat Phillips, we all know how much that he is worth. It's probably around the £20 million mark, if I'm honest. Still got the age on his side. But after he's been at Bournemouth on loan, it seems like there's been a couple of stalls to this deal in the way that if you look at how good he was last season for Bournemouth, they're probably saying, well, we do want him permanently, but we're not going to pay, because Liverpool are holding out for 15 to 20 million. If they're not keen on paying that, then obviously the best option for both parties would be for another loan for Nat Phillips. Again, let us know in the comments. Is that good for his career personally? How do you feel about that? Let us know right now. The two best players from Portugal, says Habib Ezark, on rival teams in Portugal team up to take down the abomination that is Manchester City. And you're obviously referring to Luis Diaz and Darwin Nuñez, who must have played against each other, I would say, a good 3 or 4 times when they were in Portugal, respectively, at Porto and Benfica. That's a massive game in the Portuguese calendar. So yeah, they would have come up against each other a good few times, and I'm sure in those games they noticed skills and noticed qualities of the other player. And I think it was massively instrumental from, first of all, Virgil van Dijk, but second of all, Jurgen Klopp in making that personal phone call to Nunez to get it over the line. And I guarantee that now that Diaz and Nunez are at the same team together, that partnership, by the way, Darwin, Nunez and Diaz as a partnership, that could be very scary. The South American link up, both speaking Spanish as well, which will help. But it does look like Nat Phillips is leaving, to be honest with you. Probably on loan. I'm wearing a Mané shirt right now. It's emotional, I can't lie. The medical is done. The medical is done, Sam W. As I've just shown you on Twitter, the medical is done. Which again, these medicals, they could take half an hour. They could take a day. You've seen on deadline day that, you've seen on deadline day when Liverpool get a deal over the line, lastminute.com, and it takes half an hour. It has happened like that before, but in the past, but nowadays it's a little bit more of a lengthy procedure, if you will. Interest in this as well. If you go on Twitter, if you like all this stuff, one of the likes, and this is when the deal is definitely confirmed. So the last 2 likes, which I think were actually deleted by Darwin, were Liverpool's past and Liverpool's future. As you can see here, Nuñez Suarez playing with Darwin Núñez for El Selección de Uruguay, the national team of Uruguay. And he's liked this post from goal that says Liverpool's past and Liverpool's future. So, wow, look at that. And apparently, guys, reading today, apparently Nuñez Suarez in 2020 said to Barcelona, you need to keep an eye on this Darwin Núñez. He's unreal. I play with him for Uruguay. I've been a top striker really in Europe for the last 15 years. I know what I'm talking about, and he's someone that you should buy. They ignored him. They didn't really take much note of him. They said he was too young. And now look, 2 years later, he's signing for 70 million pounds for Liverpool. So it looks like a few clubs slept on Darwin, if I'm honest. But especially Barcelona there, they could have done with someone like him, to be honest, for the next few years. But hey, listen, he's in red. And how good does he look in that red? Obviously, that's a bit of a dodgy Photoshop job, if I'm honest. But he looks good in red, as we know, through the Benfica shirts. Actually, Benfica, Bayern Munich, and Liverpool, probably the only... Bayern Munich play in white shorts, don't they? I was going to say Benfica and Liverpool then are kind of the only 2 teams that play all in red in Europe. I might be wrong. I probably am wrong. Correct me. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, Middlesbrough have got a few stripes. I know Swindon play in red. But in terms of red tops, red shorts, red socks, I'm pretty sure it's Liverpool and Benfica. Again, I could be wrong. Let me know. But yeah, it's looking very, very exciting time to be a Liverpool fan. Look at this, by the way, from John Barnes. What a player he was. Obviously, I was with him at Box Park Wembley very recently and at a Masters football event too. But what a player, what a goal. And yeah, this is the Twitter timeline. I mean, a lot of scouse stuff, as you can see. But this is important to note as well. Darwin Núñez will earn around 140,000 a week for the next 6 years, according to Chris Bascom. Now, this might sound outrageous, but I don't think that's that much, if I'm honest. I think that's less than Van Dijk. I think it's less than Salah. I think with James Milner's new deal, it's probably more than that. We all know that James Milner was on 180 grand a week for the last kind of 5-6 years at Liverpool, which he's thoroughly deserved. If anyone does deserve that amount of money per week, you know what I'm saying. But listen, it's not the 250s, it's not the 350s, it's not the 400s that Salah and Mane were after. This is a £140,000 a week for the next 6 years. And listen, if he plays really well this season, he'll obviously get a new and improved contract next year, if not the year after. So listen, it's looking good. It's looking very good, especially for the Liverpool front line. As you can see, all the comments really are on Twitter here about this signing. And here's another update for you in terms of who's leaving Liverpool. It looks like Mane still wants to join Bayern. Only Bayern. Since a long time, Liverpool is aware of his ambition to seek a new challenge with Diaz and Nuñez. LFC has found 2 successors. I mean, we kind of knew that anyway, didn't we? But he is definitely still going there, if I'm honest with you. Marcelo leaving Real Madrid after 5 Champions Leagues in 15 years. And look at this one from Portuguese football expert Pedro Sepulveda, who says Manchester United's offer was bigger than Liverpool's, but the project of Liverpool playing in the Champions League was very decisive for Darwin Núñez. So listen, guys, imagine if United did get the Champions League, he would have gone there, if you believe Pedro here. But at the same time, I respect the fact that he's turned down more money to take on a job that has more potential. Yes, you could have got richer at Man United, but you would have been playing in the Europa League, and he needs, and I emphasize, needs to be playing Champions League football. As we've seen already, scored 6 headers, the most out of any player in the Champions League last season. Great in the air, great on the floor. And Dicko's probably in the chat now. Don't believe for a second that Mane is demanding 400k a week. It makes no sense. Bit of Love Island stuff there, which is a load of rubbish, if I'm honest. And again, Chris Bascom says that Liverpool still remain optimistic that they can convince Mo Salah to sign. But if you look at this article from the Sport Bible, Manchester United believe Liverpool making a mistake in signing Darwin Nuñez and believe it is reckless spending. Well, obviously they're going to say that because he's just rejected you. And the reckless spending, you were willing to pay more. So that would have been even more reckless spending, which doesn't even make sense. Obviously, this was the night he played at Anfield. I have to say, I really like that kit as well. That was a really smooth kit that night. I was a big fan of the socks, shorts, and the shirt with a little red trim here. But Darwin set Anfield alight that night, man. And if you were there, you know. But yeah, Ten Hag believes it was reckless spending. Well, guess what, fella? You didn't get him. So move on. Try and recklessly spend 80 mil on another centre-back who's about as good as a reversing dump truck going up a hill with no wheels. How about that, son? And there's Erling Haaland in his new Manchester City shirt. Do you know what? I could genuinely do this all day, just scroll through Twitter, talking about bits and bobs with you. Let's get back into the chat and get rid of that. Big up to everyone involved in the chat right now. 175 of you. Please, if you haven't already, it takes 2 seconds for you. Oh, less than that. Once, not even a second. Just hit like. It helps me move up the algorithms. It helps me get some more views. It helps us become a bigger channel. So please, it does actually mean stuff. So please do hit the likes, man. Right, let's get through all your comments and then we'll call it a day there and we'll be back tomorrow with the full announcement that Núñez has officially signed, which we know is coming tomorrow. Shades of Summer 2018 says Victor Zalo. I can imagine that there are reasons to say that. Again, new era. As we said, thank you. Keep up the good work, as you said already. Hi, AGT. What a big signing this is for the Reds. Massive statements. Absolutely no interest in this one, to be honest with you. The lad's got a £1 billion release clause, doesn't he? Or is that Pedri? Either way, it's not going to happen with us, especially. Would you take Gavi 17, by the way? I wouldn't at this stage. Liverpool now one of the most attractive clubs on the clock. Anyone would want to join us. Absolutely true. When was that never true? 100%. I mean, this is why people are questioning the whole Mané decision to leave. Why would you want to leave during this time? And again, if it is down to game time, if he sees Diaz coming in, if he sees Nunez coming in, Mané might be thinking, well, listen, I might not get as much game time anymore. And maybe that's the main motivation for him leaving. Who knows? I don't think it is money. Mané's not that kind of guy. We just saw Ant Dicko's tweet there. Mané's not that kind of guy, if I'm honest, that strikes me as a money grabber. So yeah, interesting take on that for the Mané discussions. What is the next area to look for? Can Henderson for Henderson cover? See, me personally, you don't get the cover, you get the next Henderson. And now I know there's a big argument to say, well, Jude Bellingham is probably more technical on the ball than Henderson has been, but at the same time, age-wise, we're looking for someone who can play in that midfield for the next 10 years. And guess what? Jordan Henderson has done that. He's actually played there in that midfield for 11 years now. I mean, that's just mental. Jordan Henderson's been at Liverpool for 11 years now. Long may it continue. I want him to get another contract. I want him to, I think his current one takes him to maybe 34 years of age. But even then, I'd give him another one, just like we're doing with Milner, maybe a 3-year to keep him around the club, really bed the next generation in. And then maybe, again, take a coaching role or go somewhere else. I can't really see, if I'm honest, Jordan Henderson ever leaving Liverpool. I wouldn't want to ever sell Jordan Henderson. But instead of the cover, why don't we go for the jugular, get Jude Bellingham in? And then, as I've said many times, you might as well write the name Liverpool on the Prem trophy for the next 5 years if we get Jude Bellingham. That's how good he is. Nunez will score all the crosses from Trent. Exactly. This is one of the reasons why we've bought him. Obviously, Trent makes so many chances, creates the most in the Premier League for last 2 or 3 seasons. From right back, as we know, gets the most assists out of any player in the Premier League in the last couple of seasons as well. So can you imagine Nunez on the end of those Trent crosses? What an absolute dream. How good does Nunez look in the Liverpool red? Absolutely, 100%. Do you believe in Naby? I do. I'm a Naby believer. Let me know in the comments if you are too. I really am a Naby Keita believer. And that might offend some people, but big up to Stephen Morris. Love your work. All content, you and the guys, and that pretty female doing well. Jamaican, big up LFC for real life. Big up to you, Stephen. Hoping to come out to Jamaica at some point. My girlfriend's Jamaican. Looking to make that happen. And also, guys, probably going to be in New York in September. So if there is any New Yorkers watching this stream right now, hit me up on the DMs and we'll organize some kind of content day at Carragher's Bar in New York. Also Boston as well. But yeah, Jamaica is definitely somewhere I want to speak to Liverpool fans too. I want to go around the world with a Kop TV, and I think you guys can take me there. I'm pretty sure you can. When Klopp and Liverpool spend, they get it right. And that's what they do, Glenn. They do get it right 99% of the time. Aberdeen holding out for a higher fee, if I'm honest with you. We all know Calvin Ramsey wants to come to Liverpool. He's currently on holiday with his girlfriend, taking it easy. And maybe he was thinking, well, let me go on this holiday and everything should be sorted by the time I get back. But it doesn't look like that is the case, if I'm honest. It looks like maybe Aberdeen have seen our money there. Spending all that money on Diaz, and they think, well, hang on, let's drag this one out. We can maybe get a few more quid. How much money is in the Bikini? Not too sure what that means, mate. Looking forward now to the fixtures coming out. It's next week. Very excited for that. Apparently it's 98k a week I saw. I heard it was 140, bro, if I'm honest. Fixtures do come out Thursday. It's this week, isn't it? Really cool. Looking forward to that. We'll do a video straight away when they're announced, by the way. Who would you like for your first game of the season? Very interesting. Do you know what? I'd like Nottingham Forest to come to Anfield first day of the season. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. But I think that would be a bit of a party. And then last one, it's got to be a home game. Because, again, you could win the league on the last day of the season and lift it at Anfield. So last day of the season, you kind of want a banker. If I'm honest with you, you don't want a hard game. We normally win them under Klopp anyway. The first and the last games, we always start and finish really well. So I'm going to go with Fulham at home. How about that? Fulham at home. Right, let's keep going through the comments. Where does this leave Jota in the pecking order, mate? So obviously you've got Salah, number 1. I would say Diaz is now number 2 if Mane goes. I would say Jota is 3. Oh, hang on. Salah, Nunez, Diaz. There's the 3. Then I'd go Jota, Firmino. Yeah, I would say Jota's number 4 now. 25k people. Smash the likes. It's free. Not many things are in 2022. Exactly, Bailey. You're right. You are spot on, mate. 25k. Let's get there as soon as we can. Much love to you as well, Benico. Big up to you, man. Great deal for the best team in the world. Welcome to Liverpool, says Tracy Thomas. Yeah, I didn't want a contract. Liverpool, I'm not the only club in the race for Jude Bellingham. Yeah, big up to you, Gary. Thank you so much from Alejandro Maravilla, who says, would you scoop up in the midfield? Alex, shout out from Chicago. Keep up the good work. Massive shout out to you, my bro. All the way from Chicago. And listen, if you can get to New York, there's the Seagulls that I was talking about earlier, the Liverpool City Centre Seagulls, which, and you guys are quite interested in my personal life. We're actually moving in a month, so no more of that. But yeah, I would, again, Jude Bellingham, man, I keep saying it, and I am going to keep saying it until I manifest it into real life. Alejandro, great name as well. But yeah, it has to be the one and only target for me is Jude Bellingham, man. I don't want to hear any other targets. But yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Keep up the good work for you too as well. How many goals? Right. Great question, Randy. I reckon Nunez gets difficult, but I'm going to put my hat down and say 25 goals. Okay. In all comps, I think he gets 25 goals this season. With that service he's going to get from Robbo and Trent, the guy's just going to be scoring goals for fun. Honestly, looking like a young Steven Seagal. That's a good shout. That is a very good shout, man. Forest for me as well, AGT. Yep, absolutely. Apparently it's Newcastle. We have a leak. Is that for the first game of the season or the last game? Let me know. Palace at home. That's the game that Gary wants first. Give Nuñez the 10 shirt. Could do that. could easily do that. He's more of a number 9, but obviously Bobby's got that. Number 18 is Taki Minamino. He looks like he's going to be leaving. Do you give the number 18 to Darwin? I mean, record goal scorer. You'd have to give him the 10, really, wouldn't you? I suppose. Exactly. This is what I just said. Can see Kop TV doing mad numbers. In time to come, it will happen. Thank you, bro. Inshallah. Will Harvey Elliott? Yes, 100% Ashley Pascoe. He will get more time. I'm hoping to interview him on the Kop TV as well. So let's see if we can make that happen. Dog update. I don't think Ant has asked. The dog update is going to put his bed in the wash. Still getting us evicted in a few weeks because of his presence alone. So the dog's cool, man. The dog lives the best life. He's got food, exercise, drink, everything. It was his birthday a couple of days ago. We bought him cake. So he's living a fine life, mate. Don't worry about that. How much money is there left to spend in this window? It says Melanator 1. Big up for that name. I would say don't be surprised if you see us go and spend up to another 80 mil. I do think that we could potentially do that. Who it's on, I have no idea. But you can't tell me that having made or brought into the club tens of millions, as we are going to do this summer, you can't tell me that there's not something else that we can put down as well. And I do think it will happen. Is there going to be a statue of Klopp this season? Because he defo deserves one, 100%. Nunez is a mix of Falcao and Cavani, says Habibez. And Charlie Hamer reckons we should give him number 27. Newcastle is the first game of the season, apparently. Okay, wow. Ilias wanted Fulham at home. Gary Morgan reckons 18. Give Nunez the 69. Careful, Mohammed. Not like that. Well, some people might. Nothing wrong with it. Well, consensual. We always get newly promoted teams in the opening game. Not always, I remember a couple seasons ago, I think we had Arsenal in the first game. Pretty sure we've played Everton in the first game quite recently as well. Time for more game time for Costas over Robbo. I would agree. If I'm honest with you, I do think that could happen, Mahmood, as well. If he gets 4 chances, he scores 3 in my book, says Craig, about Nunez. Ahmed 9 wants to give him 10. Big up to Bailey talking about the old dog. Do you think he'll be confirmed tomorrow? Yes, there will be a formal announcement post tomorrow after lunch. So keep your phones on, keep Twitter open, keep Instagram open, because trust me, that is going to happen tomorrow. Will we get any replacement for Mo Salah this season? I don't think Salah's leaving, bro. So Nishan, joke. That was a bit of a joke. Right, big up to Rabadam, who says, let's get De Jong just to spite United. Do you know what? Before Barca, I was actively, on Frankie De Jong, and I still do think he's a top player. I think, though, a little bit... Sorry, I'm just putting a candle on. I do think at the same time, though, we've kind of missed the boat on him and he's maybe peaked. Listen, I could be wrong. He could come to United and be their best player. Who knows? But at the same time, let's just see how he gets on before we start talking about him to Liverpool. Carvalho as well. Don't forget him, guys. He's going to be some player. Man City, Chelsea, Spurs, first 3 away games, please, says Tony. Evan, Rig, Barella, maybe a shout. Again, we've had his name brought up before. A good midfielder for sure. Absolutely. Let's see how that one pans out. We have money to spend because we also put a bid of 57 plus add-ons for too many. There you go. That's a great point, Ginge96. I forgot about that. Great point. TikTok post tomorrow, says Charlie Hamer. About what? Let me know. Trent and Robbo must be licking their lips. Give him 7. Says RJ Nation Reacts. Who's 7? Milner. You can't give him Milner's number. Come on, man. No. Right, guys. That's it for today. We will be back tomorrow when it is officially announced, and we'll be back on Thursday as well. And transfers, the fixture list is fully announced too. Great show. Thank you so much for your super chats. We'll be back again, as I said, very soon. Take care. All the best. Subscribe if you haven't already. Much love. All the best. Whoa. Just before you go,
don't forget, give us a like, drop us a comment, and subscribe to the Kop TV.